Welcome to 20 Minutes or Less. I'm Joe Beretta.
I'm Elliot Morgan.
Baseball.
Video games.
Politics. Ooh.
Oh.
Do you know who Curt Shilling is? He's a former Major League Baseball pitcher who won 3 World Series titles. And he also lays claim to one of the most man-tastic sporting moments ever. His Red Sox pitching opus, known as the Bloody Sock Game, defeated the New York Yankees and reserved him a spot in the Shrine of Badassery. But now, Shilling is making headlines in a totally different world. He makes video games, and his video game development company has laid off all its employees and can close its doors and wind up owing the state of Rhode Island millions upon millions of dollars. And today, Curt Shilling is lashing out at the state of Rhode Island, claiming that the state's public commentary on the studio's financial woes is making it impossible for the company to succeed. This whole baseball to video game to possible bankruptcy epic is a mess, but we're gonna try and catch you up chapter by chapter.
Chapter 1, Curt Shilling plays a crap ton of baseball. While playing a crap ton of baseball, he displays his nerd love for MMORPGs by wearing EverQuest gear at press conferences. He's a jock that plays RPGs. That is cool.
Chapter 2, Shilling combines his video game passion with his baseball money and creates Green Monster Games located just outside of Boston. He wants to make his very own MMORPG, and he enlists the services of Spawn creator Todd McFarlane, and they get their Dungeons and Dragons on, and they create some new fantasy worlds for the company's first video game. Codename for this game is called Project Copernicus.
And we are already to Chapter 3. They changed the name of Green Monster Games to 38 Studios because that was the number the Shilling wore in baseball. Man, athletes love their numbers. They get like really weird about them. I don't know. Anyway, they take on big, huge games and tell them, hey, make us a single-player game in the Project Copernicus universe. They did. It's Kingdom of Amalur Reckoning. It's rocking between a 7.5 and an 8 on most review sites, so it doesn't suck. That game came out in February of this year, but we're kind of jumping ahead.
Yeah, so Chapter 4, 2010, Rhode Island is like, oh, our economy sucks, we need jobs. So they go, hey, Curt Schilling, could you make video games over in Rhode Island? He's like, no, I love Boston. And Rhode Island's like, hey, here's $75 million. It's an incentive package. And Shilling's like, okay. So Rhode Island gives 38 Studios the money, and 38 Studios is expected to make a crap ton of jobs for Rhode Island and better the economy.
It's a perfect plan, except for when Chapter 5 happens. Rhode Island is like, it's not quite a loan, but it is a loan, and you owe us about $1 million payment. But 38 Studios can't exactly pay $1 million, so they give Rhode Island a check, tell them it will bounce, then they give them another check, it doesn't bounce, but they don't pay their employees so they can make the payment. Yikes, that doesn't help the economy when your employees don't get paid.
It also doesn't help when you lay off everybody in your company. Chapter 6, they can't pay mandatory loan payments and they've laid off their entire staff. Shilling says he intends to finish the game as well as pay back the money because he's invested. He's pumped all of his baseball savings, which is about $50 million, into the company, and they're seemingly moving forward, but moving forward with a massive limp. They did release this footage for Project Copernicus, so it does exist, and that's good, but the game will need to sell 3 million copies just to break even. If the company files for bankruptcy, the taxpayers will be left with the bill, and that could balloon up to 112 million hard-earned Rhode Island dollars. This game is scheduled to be released in June of 2013, so they've got a very long final chapter to endure. Whew, whew.
Man, words.
Yeah.
You know, a lot happening there. Might be like 20 minutes or more. So consider yourself caught up. And if you want to get even more details, follow the link in the description over to Kotaku. They have an amazing summary of everything that's going on.
So what do you guys think about this whole thing? Should the government refrain from financing small businesses, or is the practice a necessary risk states need to take to help boost their economies? Let us know in the comments down below.
And while you're down there, it helps us out a lot if you can click the like button. If you happen to like our faces, you can hit the subscribe button. And if you'd like to see more 20 minutes or less, you can click this annotation or go to SourceFed.com because we do 5 daily stories all the time. Also, there's a link in the description if you'd like to hop on over to For Human Peoples and maybe pick up a poster if you'd like to put us on your wall and we can sit there and stare at you while you're working on your homework or whatever. I don't know. It's up to you. I'm Elliot Morgan.
I'm Joe Beretta.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.